Welcome to this video on writing cover letters. In this video we'll cover 10 tips, and in the next video we'll then take a look at an example. First tips you'll see will be very reminiscent of the tips that we talked about when we prepared the CV and looking at the job ad. So what do we remember from that? That the CV will get you onto a certain yes pile, and you can be asked to come for an interview, or onto the no pile. So the CV is very important. When does the cover letter get read then? Well, just before the interview. So the recruiter already knows all the details from the CV. The letter is about showing motivation. It's not about facts, it's about who you are, what kind of person you are. It's about more emotion and feeling and je ne sais quoi than about mere dry facts. So that's the first thing that we keep in mind. Tied into that, we want to make sure that the feeling that we are going to display of ourselves, that it's going to match exactly, or as close as possible, the job ad. So we're going to screen the job ad, look for the words, the things that are needed. And in doing that, we're not repeating the CV. We're going to do cherry picking. Out of our CV, we're just going to select some items that we think convey the motivation, describes best the kind of person that we are. Moving on from that point, what we want to do is then go further things in the interview itself. Since the letter will be read just prior to the interview in most cases, we want to try and already steer that interview so that you can talk about the things that you think are good at, the things that you shine, where you shine. So that is what we'll try to do with this approach, with this tip, mentioning topics for discussion. Highlighting past achievements is also something we talked about when we discussed writing a CV. It's about specifics. It's not about saying I am good, but it's about saying I am good because I did A, B and C in the past. So same as for the CV, you can talk about your past grades if you think that's important for academic functions. If you're just starting out in your career, just talk about any kind of experience that you have, things that you did that could show your qualities, your skills, your qualifications. Sixth tip then, remember, the main thing that you want to show is that the company or organization will benefit from having you on their team. You can add value to their operations. Tying into the previous point, you'll do that by showing that you added value before to others. Look what I did then. Imagine what that could mean for your organization. That is the idea behind it. Of course, we're going to do this using proper and correct formal English, and we're going to mind all the letter writing conventions, because form in itself can also display some of these skills and qualifications that perhaps you try to convey. That brings us to our cover letter tip number 8. We're going to try and kiss. Keep it short and simple. That means that we do not want to show off any kind of difficult language too much. Even when you're applying for a job that will involve lots of writing, show them that you have good writing by writing in clear structures, that you have clear words you can use. So do not obfuscate, try to use intricate vocabulary. All of that will not work. Stick to simple language. No pun intended there. Then, 9th tip. Remember what we said about the F structure, the eye tracking software? Make sure that your letter, not just your CV, is easy to scan. It should look inviting to read. How do we do that? We're going to use separate paragraphs, and we're going to try and use a topic sentence at the start of each paragraph. The topic sentence is going to be a sentence that's going to introduce what the sentence will be about, the entire paragraph. And the rest is just going to be illustrations, anecdotes, further ideas corroborating that main idea. But we already offer the main gist of the information in that first sentence. And then finally, cover letter tip number 10. How long should it be? Well, 4 to 5 paragraphs. Main thing is show that you're motivated. Be specific about past achievement and refer to a possible interview with the possible topics that you can talk about. Be motivated. We'll look at an example in a minute.